Okay, so where do I start? I'm going to talk from my heart. I'm gonna just tell my story. Once upon a time, a long, long time ago in the 1950s, there was a young man named Joe. He was a mechanical engineer. He was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis when he was 19. He met a pretty little nurse, probably in Miami Valley, and her name was Sally. The two were married. They had 2 children, a boy and a gorgeous little girl. And that little girl was me. I'm Twila. So, you guys tracking? You're tracking. Okay, so Daddy always said, go to school, get good grades, go to college, and my golly, get a great job. I said, okay, Daddy, I got that. So when I started school, I'm going to say high school. When we were, we always went to school, but when I was a freshman in high school, I always worked. There was no such thing as direct deposit in the 70s. So I had a pay stub, and it bothered me. And I asked Daddy, I said, what are these boxes? It was like FICA, it was local city taxes, it was federal. And so Daddy, he just, taxes. But he didn't make a big deal out of it. So I continued going to school. I'm in high school working part-time after school. And what I noticed, Daddy didn't say anything about money. No one talked about how money works. And the teachers, they taught you how to get a personal statement when it was time to go to college. They wanted you to get good grades so they would accept you. And they wanted to make sure that you're FAFSA. They still call it FAFSA for your financial aid, right? You have to do that. So that's what I did. And guess what? You track it. I was an honor student. I graduated with honors like Daddy told me to, and I went to college. Wright State. When I went to Wright State, there was 4 buildings. So now it's like, whoa! But I was a programmer at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base while I went to school at Wright State. I eventually went to the Wild Wild West. I worked as a programmer and I relocated. After meeting my knight in shining armor, I went to the Wild Wild West and we were married. And I was a programmer out there. The IT industry, the dot-coms, they failed in the early 2000s and I was laid off. I had a lot of temporary jobs, but I was really like, I'm an IT, computer science, calculus, physics, and I thought I knew it, but I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about how money works. It was not talked about at home. Daddy didn't talk about it. The teachers didn't talk about it. Even at church, no one talked about it. You passed the offering plate or whatever, but money was something that was not talked about. You didn't know how it worked. They just didn't talk about those things. So I went on my journey, and of course I went to the Wild Wild West. I worked as a programmer, but when the dot-coms failed, I worked 10 jobs. So eventually, guess what? An aha moment. I started a business, a daycare business, after school. That's what I did. So I had the kids in the daytime, and in the evening I would help them with their homework. And I became I love math. So I went back to school. But this is what I did. I gave my clients to another provider so I could go back to school to get another degree. I was an entrepreneur and didn't know what that was. I didn't know what an entrepreneur was, and I didn't know that you get tax breaks when you're an entrepreneur. You tracking? Okay, so I'm in California. Guess what else happened? The market crashed in 2008. I didn't even know what the market was. I had no idea, so I really didn't react until I realized that I had lost about $250,000. And I said, okay. And so with that experience right there, you tracking? So what I did, I was still in California. I had some Christian sisters, my sisters in Christ. They came over and they spoke to me. Well, we had lunch together. And they were talking to me about an opportunity. Passive income. I needed passive income because I had lost my retirement. So she said, it's a great opportunity. You can work anywhere on the planet. All you need is a Wi-Fi connection, and if you want to, you can raise your kids, watch them go to school. You can even homeschool. And I was very intrigued, but I had one question. I said, do I have to go back to school to get another degree? And she said, no. And I said, I'm on. I was cool beans, and that's what I did. So I have 3 daughters. The youngest is 26, and the oldest is 42. And I have a 10-year-old grandson. So when they were growing up, guess what I told them? You tracking? Go to school, get good grades, go to college, and they did it. And so, so they're consumers. They're doing well, but they're consumers. But I have a grandson, 10. He does listen to me. But what I did, I eventually came home, straight out of Dayton. I came home and helped take care of my money. I made bad decisions where money was concerned. I was financially illiterate. Daddy didn't talk about it. The school system didn't talk about it. But we were happy kids, but nobody said a damn thing about money and how it worked. So for me, coming home, I did take that opportunity when I was in California, and we teach financial literacy. And the mission is no family left behind. It's teaching families what they need to get out of debt, how to save money, and to know more about the banks. When you save your money in the bank, are you really getting a great rate of return? Something to think. You tracking the banks for real. It's something to think about, and something that I never knew, but I know now. So my mentor, he told me, he said, Twila, you're going to die one day. I never thought about dying. I said, ooh. He said, so you have to plan with the end in mind. I'm like, okay. So I never planned with the end in mind. So I am now because, I've been in the business since 2016. So what I know now is I want to teach and advocate parents, families, single moms, single guys, baby boomers, whoever will listen, because the mission is no family left behind. So just to teach people more about how to create wealth, where to save your money so you can get a better rate of return. And the one experience that I learned is making sure you plan, because you are going to die. Nobody gets out alive. My mom did not have a trust. She didn't have a will, and we did lose her a couple of years ago. She was a smoker, she had dementia, she was a jokester, but she did not have a trust. And in the end, she would say, well, Diane, what is a trust? I'm like, oh, shit. But so right now, we're in probate. So it's good to just look at your children, look at the people coming behind you, and make sure that you take care of them by taking care of yourself. And that's it.